Welcome to the B-Town Breakdown presented by IUS TV Sports. We have a lot of hot news in the sports world this week. This is Gabe Fenster, Jayden Betron, and I'm Kelsey Dennehy. Let's get into it. All right, gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Pretty good. I'm excited for the show.
I'm doing fantastic. NBA season starting. Lots of new players, lots of new teams. I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling great.
That's awesome. So the NBA season starting, that's huge. Who do you guys have as a player that is looking to have a breakout season?
Personally, I'm between Anthony Edwards and Tyler Hero. I know Anthony Edwards is an obvious popular breakout season because he started out a little cold in the first half of the season after the All-Star break. LaMelo Ball got hurt. He kind of took over the rookie spotlight and he started averaging a little over 19 a game. But Tyler Hero is someone that I don't think a lot of people are looking at because
he fell off last year and he was kind of trash.
Look, he showed a lot of spurts of potential when he was in the bubble. And he didn't play so well. He wasn't playing so bad in the regular season. He was averaging a little over 15 a game. It was the playoffs that was kind of the downfall. But to be honest, the whole team didn't play so well as they got swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. Ended up winning the championship. But I think Tyler Hero, like he said on social media, that people are doubting him. And he compared himself to Luka, Trey, and John Morant. I don't think anyone's just gonna say that just for like he's got to have something behind that, honestly.
Well, as a player, you kind of want to believe in yourself, but there's a difference between being optimistic and being delusional.
But look, he's confident, and confidence delusional. And I see the confidence on the court too, and the confidence on social media. Like he had a lot going on last year. He had a baby, and that's a lot on him. Like he worked up.
What does having a baby have to do with it, man?
Have you had a baby before?
No.
Okay, then how do you know you don't know how much of a big deal it is providing your family with support and care?
Have you had a baby before?
I have not, but my parents have, and me. But look, Tyler Hero, he's bulked up a lot. It's pretty obvious, and he's bound to have a breakout season.
So Gabe is a little bit delusional, just like Tyler Hero. There's a difference between being optimistic and just being stupid, and that's what that's being. The clear breakout player of the year is someone who already broke out, which was Jeremy Grant. I think he's going to play.
We're talking about the breakout player of the year, not someone who already broke out, though.
He's going to play outstanding again this year. When you have a fluke season like he did, people are bound to say it was a fluke season. I think he's going to continue his progress, continue showing the strengths in his game. And I think another player that's bound to break out is Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert taking over in Indiana. I think he's going to show his potential that we saw in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, he showed so much potential with his off-the-ball dribble, with his ability to drive to the hoop, to stop, to go. He just showed a lot of fundamentals and building blocks that you could perform as a great player. And he had a really bad season last year where he almost had to retire because they found something wrong with him, and he eventually got it sorted out, and now he's going to break out this year.
See, that's the thing why I believe he might not be the player that people thought he was going to be because of the injury.
But the injury was taken care of. It was a heart palpitation.
But that may cause a permanent scar in his head.
I don't think so.
But I do like the Karis LeVert one. Jeremy Grant, I'm not 200% sure about it. Like you said, he already broke out. He was an All-Star candidate last year.
I think LaMelo Ball could have another jump in his career. I mean, he just had a great rookie season. Why can't he jump again?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see. Keep your eye out for the next NBA segment. So our next subject is a little bit more of a serious subject and has to do with the MLB. So recently they announced that they will be providing some sort of housing for their minor league baseball players, whether that's a stipend, whether that is actual physical housing. So I'm just wondering what you guys think about that and whether you think that that's enough, whether the MLB is doing enough for their players.
So I didn't totally understand the whole situation until I did a little bit of research on it. There is a lot of minor league players in the MLB. There's an outstanding number of players who get drafted every year who come into prospect organizations where they need to fend for themselves and don't necessarily come off of financial standing that's suitable for themselves, and then they need to figure out how they're going to live and play baseball and travel with the team and play baseball. So I think it's definitely about time that the MLB provided some sort of on the road housing for these MLB minor league players, but I also think that they can't be handed everything. I think that this is also like it is a little bit of a handout, but I think it's a deserved one. I don't think that they should be handed their careers right there. They all have to fend for themselves and show who's the best, show who the best is. The best gets the best, and I think that's the way it has worked and how it should work. But I do think that these players shouldn't have to travel with the team and pay for their own housing on the road. I think that's a little unfair.
Yeah, and I just want to add on to that, like, playing baseball is not an easy thing to do. It's a tough sport, and it takes a lifetime of practicing and training to get to the level where the professional baseball players are at. And these minor league players, they've been training their whole lives too. It's not like they've been playing since high school or since college. Like, they've been playing their whole lives too. They weren't as gifted as the professional players got, and they weren't given the same talents as these professional players have gotten, but they've still been playing their whole lives. They gave up a career in something that they could have been doing, could have been making more money in.
Well, these minor league players are their eventual goal is to make the major leagues.
Right,
So,
and that's the reason they're still in the minor leagues. If they didn't think they were going to make the professionals, then they'd drop out and go do something like, whatever. But I think the least that the Major League Baseball can do for the minor league players is give them some housing. I mean, like,
if I'm not mistaken, there's over 1,000 players who get drafted every year.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I
of
mean,
players.
the farm system separated into single A, double A, and triple A, and that's a lot of baseball players. Like, so I think, like I said, like, the least that the professional baseball league can do is give them some housing, because, like I said, they've been working their whole lives for this, and they're still trying to make it to the league.
Another interesting thing too that you mentioned earlier is that these guys have been playing their whole lives. So you also have to think about their age and the fact that a lot of them are probably married and have kids. So the expenses that they're taking on top of a not so awesome paycheck for doing the sport that they love, I also have to agree that I think it's about time that they at least provide some sort of financial compensation.
Yeah, and they're not getting paid a lot.
Exactly.
I mean, they're probably getting paid close to maybe $500,000 at most.
Exactly. So
And
we want to
that's-
hear what you guys have to say in the comments. So let us know. And that is it for the MLB today. Alrighty, our next topic has to do with the NFL. So it was a big weekend this weekend for injuries, unfortunately. We saw the Giants lose a number of players during their game, which they unfortunately dropped. And the Tennessee Titans on Monday also lost a significant number of players, but they won. They upset the Bills. It was a really, really good game. So I'd just like to hear what you guys think about the differences in those two teams. And obviously going through injuries takes a pretty big mental toll on teams. You don't want to see your best friends, your buddies, your teammates go down. So what kind of are they missing that the Titans aren't?
So, well, there's two things that we want to address. The NFL is a major problem. Players are dropping like flies. The Giants lost 4 or 5 of their best players. Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Blake Martinez. That's a significant amount of money off their of that they pay out to those players who are supposed to be their star players get hurt. You also have the difference between the Titans, who are able to come back from all those injuries of players like Taylor Lewan and Cameron Bateson, and are able to show that they are a legit franchise, unlike the Giants. As a Giants fan, I can say the major difference between them is their coaching staff. Mike Vrabel versus Joe Judge. Just a major difference between them. Joe Judge went from the Patriots special teams coach to New York Giants head coach. Just because he coached for the Patriots does not make him an NFL head coach. He has a great grit and grind, energy and mentality to him that I think works great as an offensive line coordinator or a defensive coordinator, just not as a head coach. And the Giants have really struggled this year because their coaching staff has been horrendous. They make horrible play calls, offensively and defensively. And I just don't think that Joe Judge is a suitable head coach. You saw him in week 2. He threw a challenge flag on an unchallengeable play. How can your team respect the player who doesn't or how can your team respect the coach who doesn't even understand the rules?
I want to talk about this Buffalo Bills game. Like, again, this is real life. Anything can happen. Teams have bad days. Teams have good days. These could be some players that you're giving them a chance, and they're actually outstanding players. Like, you never know. It was just a bad night for the Buffalo Bills. It was just a fluke game.
I wouldn't even call it a bad night for them. It was 34-31. They only lost by 3 points.
Well, again, there was the backup players that were playing. But anything can happen. Like, it's sports. It's real life. Like,
for the Bills, I still have them as my Super Bowl favorite. I don't think it was a bad game. I personally love the call that they went for. Sean McDermott made on 4th and 1 with 20 seconds left.
I agree.
on the 6-yard line. I love that call, even though they would have sent it to overtime, and they might have even won in overtime. I love the call to go for it on 4th and 1 to win that game. The Bills are the hottest team in football. Josh Allen is in my opinion, the MVP favorite with him and Kyler Murray. And Sean McDermott is building a culture there that they are going to be successful, and he's willing to trust his players and put the ball in his players' hands. And I think, even though they lost that game, it was the correct call.
See, I never thought I'd be able to be saying this, but I actually agree with Jayden.
Wow.
I do agree with Jayden. So
Let's go!
I have nothing else to add on to that. Jayden said it perfectly himself.
Okay, with that, we are going to toss it over to Zach Greene, who is asking some people on our campus if they're even an IU fan. So, Zach, take it away.
What's up, Hoosiers fans? My name's Zach Greene, reporting live from Bloomington, Indiana. And this weekend, the Hoosiers welcome the 5th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes to town. And today, we're going to be asking fans fake questions and finding out, are you even a fan? All right, guys, I'm here with
Alyssa,
Grant Smith,
Reggie Archer.
I'm Connor.
Michael Penix is questionable with a shoulder injury. How you feeling about that?
I mean, at this point, I feel like if we have Tuttle or anybody, Tuttle looked pretty good last weekend, but I like to see the freshmen play in there.
Oh yeah,
McCullough.
McCullough. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, but Penix is also our best option. So if he is available, why not put him in there too?
Well, Tuttle didn't play too bad. The defense played good. We stepped up on D, and Michael Penix hasn't been all that good this year. So Tuttle show, baby.
I'd like to see Penix out there. I think he plays well in big games, and I think he'll be very good for us this weekend if he can play.
So we have a new punter. I know. Did you watch the game against Iowa week 1?
Yeah.
He just shanked it. It was like his first game ever.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's from Australia. But our new punter is actually a soccer player. His name's Spencer Glass. He's a senior. So I think he'll be taking the punting duties this weekend. How you feeling about that?
I mean, hopefully he does well. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as punting goes, I mean, we might need him to flip the field for us. So.
I didn't know Spencer Glass was punting for us. That's interesting. I think especially that side of special teams has been a problem for us this year. I think that's a good adjustment, so we'll see how that works out for us.
I don't really know much about him, but it sounds great. I don't know.
Halloween's coming up, and I think Memorial Stadium might be decked out in some Halloween decorations this weekend. Are you a big Halloween fan? How you feeling about that?
Yeah, I like Halloween. Halloween's fun, yeah.
I mean, I'm not too much of a Halloween guy, but I'll probably be there with the costume.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right now, I only know I'm being a fairy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there.
Okay.
Trying to get to every game, but I don't know as far as wearing a Halloween costume. Thinking about going as a cow, not going to lie.
Okay,
but,
there we go. There we go.
Sneak peek.
Okay, for sure.
But you never know. You never know.
He's going to be a Greek god for Halloween. Okay, I understand. Well, thank you so much, Steve. I hope we pull off this upset this weekend, and you have a good one.
Welcome back, everyone. Our final topic for today is college football. So this weekend was a really big weekend in college football because Purdue upset number 2 Iowa. What do you guys have to say about that game?
Can I first apologize for saying that Indiana was going to upset Michigan State? I'm sorry, and I believe that this weekend will be different. But I just want to start out by apologizing.
And
for that.
I would like to apologize for saying Iowa's legit.
You didn't.
I did.
You did say Iowa.
I said Iowa was legit last week. After they moved up to the second spot, I said I was wrong, and I said Iowa was legit, and I got proven right again. Purdue, it's not good as an Indiana fan to see Purdue winning. I think it still was a fluke. I still think Iowa's more legit than that. They don't lose 24-7 to Purdue. You saw Purdue move into the top 25 this week. Alabama's now back in the top 5 conversation and are potentially in college football playoff conversation, which I was wrong again about. But, it happens.
It just shows how sports can just change just like that. You never know what's going to happen in any game. We got Purdue losing to Iowa, and we got
Purdue won.
Purdue won.
Purdue
Purdue getting winning against Iowa, and so you never know what's going to happen in sports. It's a crazy world. But I'm sorry for cutting you off, Kelsey. Please continue.
It's okay. I was just gonna say that I'm not a Purdue fan. Obviously, I go to Indiana University, but I love those types of games. Those games are my favorite, and I was really crossing my fingers that it would happen this past weekend at Indiana University versus Michigan State, but it didn't. So we'll see, I guess, this weekend. We're going into a really, really tough weekend against Ohio State.
If I'm not mistaken, Indiana has statistically the toughest schedule in college football.
I agree.
But it's not even that Indiana played bad against Michigan State. It was just the defense.
The defense.
Statistically, we were doubling.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Our defense has been great.
Our defense was phenomenal. The offense was
been
running in circles.
The reason why we were close against Michigan State or Indiana was close against Michigan State and Cincinnati was our defense kept us in those games.
The reason that Penn State only
I was talking
scored.
about Michigan State's defense.
Oh.
Anyways,
we should make that more clear next time.
You really should have clarified that.
I just wanted to hear you guys
Sorry,
talk
pal.
about whatever you were talking about. Michigan State's defense was horrendous, but we could not score a touchdown. We scored 3 straight field goals to start the game, and we were doubling each statistic category. But it was the turnovers that was just killing the Hoosiers.
Can we also talk about the refs, though? We did have, I believe, 2 touchdowns called back. That's pretty unfortunate, and that also will slow down your offense.
I'm done.
Granted, the offense wasn't amazing, but refs do play a pretty integral part in a game.
I'm done blaming the refs. It's our offense. It's
our
just the offense. The refs are doing their job. It's not like they're biased towards.
I didn't
any
hate
team.
what I saw at a Tuttle though. Tuttle did not look at horrible. He did not look horrible.
No, I agree.
But hopefully we can take a win this weekend against Ohio State.
Hey.
Yeah, and I hate to jinx it, or I hope not to jinx it like I did last weekend, but I do have a good feeling about this weekend.
Hey,
Jeez.
we'll see. You never know. College
Fade
football
what
is
this
college
man
football.
says.
College football is college football. So with that, we'd like to thank you guys so much for watching our second episode today. This is Gabe Fenster, Jayden Betron, and I am Kelsey Dennehy. We will see you next week.